Do you work in the field of increasing positive thinking for parents with children with disability?
We're trying to, and we have done from day one after opening the center. We have demonstrated the parents were very skeptical at the beginning. We copied the model of a center from Great Britain. However, when we brought the children to the center, we could not copy the educational model because 6 years old and 14 years old, they've been on the same level. They've all been just stuck at home in four walls. So when we brought them first day to the center, every single child had their parents next to them. The parents couldn't believe that their children can go to toilet by themselves, so they can become independent. So step by step, we proved to them that they can walk. All of them can transfer themselves from wheelchair to bed, from wheelchair to chair. Every single one of them can go independently to toilet. Every single one of them can write and read, just given enough time to teach them. So we had to work and persuade the parents that their children are just normal children. They just need more work to develop their skills.
How do you think is important to deal with a child with disability?
First of all, what we are trying to implement and do is to treat them equally. This is one thing I'm trying to put in their head, not to let anyone to call them handicapped, disabled, different. They have different needs, but they have abilities as well. So their wheelchair shouldn't forbid them or shouldn't be a burden and be an obstacle for them not to become a lawyer, not to become a writer, not to become a singer. So we try to show them and teach them that they're equal to everybody else. They just need to work a little bit harder. And unfortunately, in Moldova, I had to work even more harder to be accepted. When in UK, it would have been just a normal practice.
And how does having a special needs child affect a family, with psychologically, like washing, dressing, feeding, all this
Yeah,
thing?
the families, we can't blame the parents. We try to teach them, but at the same time, we never put the blame on them because it's like traveling. So you're trying to go to America and you end up in Russia, in Siberia. It's exactly with when they had a child with special needs. They were not ready for this. No one taught them how to deal with them. No one showed them. If normal kids, you go to kindergarten, you go to school, you speak to different moms, and you learn these things. For disabled children, the parents was just isolated. So in many cases, in most of the cases, the parents became quite poor because they can't work. Automatically, one parent has to. They think one parent had not stopped to stay home. Um, they don't have any skills. They don't have any, and they have to. Some of them who try to go medically and they try to treat them instead of a team of people like the Portage in UK. It will be the counselors, the psychologists, the doctor, the teacher will tell the parents, okay, your child can walk, but he can do this. This thing they can't do anything, and this educational in order to tell them their children can do something is not existent. So they go medical way. So they just go to doctors, trying to make them to walk, doing all sorts of surgery, even if they can't walk. So instead of putting accent on the physiotherapy, developing the skills, they just go. And this is a national problem.
How do you calm a special needs child?
Every child is individual, so you have to have an individual approach to different. So some of them you have to raise a voice, some of them you have to go calmer, some of them you have just to let them to calm down themselves. So you just have put them on a bin bag and then they will calm themselves. We've been lucky because our staff have found their way and approach to every child. I'm a little bit more. I'm trying to push them harder because I think if I push them harder, they'll go further. But yes, every child is individual approach.
And what activities you make with the children in your center?
They have all sorts of activities. We have from reading, writing, because this is the main thing we try to teach them, and unfortunately, it's really hard. I think it's something basic they should have been doing, but it's quite hard. And we have identified after 2 years of running the center, we have identified the abilities, the best abilities, what child wants, what child would like, what is his abilities, and we try to develop those abilities For example, if they can sing and they like to sing, we are trying to find them a musical teacher to develop. If they like the computer, we will teach them how to use the computer in order to become a writer, a programmer. Some of them are doing, so they have inclusion, they have education, and I see a part of education, as I mentioned, writing and reading and mathematics, and they have wood lessons, they have arts and crafts. They in the afternoon they have more social activities, so they're singing, they dancing, they doing all sorts of handmade stuff. They doing stuff they can sell themselves and raise some funds for center. We giving them 3 meals a day, so 2 main meals and a snack, and we're bringing them from home and taking them back home with our specialized minibuses.
And why did you decide to open your center in a rural area?
Because there are some facilities for children with disabilities in Norfolk, were pretty much non-existent, and I wanted to bring back something to the origin where I'm coming from.
Thank you so much.